Normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
From Naples News, comedian Matt Rife sparks controversy with joke in Netflix special. Is he performing in Florida? Well, I chose this local news outlet for a reason, mostly because it just documents the controversy around comedian Matt Rife. He had a Netflix special where he appeared to mock domestic violence victims. How dare he? I really, really don't care that he did. And here's the best part. Here's from NBC News. Comedian Matt Rife responds to Netflix special backlash with a link to special needs helmets. He made a post and said, for everybody who was offended by my joke, here's a link to my apology. And when you clicked it, it loaded up. I wonder if they have an image of it. I don't think they do. It loaded up a shopping website for special needs helmets for people who are, differently abled, as it were.
Get him, dude.
I'm just saying, shout out to this comedian, but we're starting to win back. See, this is the point about cancel culture. I have almost no problem with the limiting of certain speech. I say almost because we try to be very careful. We want to make sure people have right to express themselves legitimately. But, like people posting adult content is not legitimate expression it's obscene for kids. I think it's fair to say that we're going to be like, no way. This dude made a joke. That's it. Grow up. Have a nice day. Laugh or don't. 5 years ago, this dude would have been fired in 2 seconds. Look at, was it Shane Gillis? Was that the comedian?
Shane got fired from SNL.
What did he do?
A month of getting hired or something.
He did like an accent or something?
No, he had done a joke in the past, it was years ago prior on like an open mic or something like that, where he made fun of Asian Americans and he said that.
Right.
Yeah.
He did an accent.
He's a great impressionist, by the way.
Yeah.
And as an Asian American myself, I thought it was hilarious. And they fired him because of it.
Yep, correct.
We're winning. This story shows we're winning. It's not just about the culture that's being built. It's about it. This dude's 28 and he's got a Netflix special and he's like, don't like my joke? I'm going to double down and insult you even further.
Yeah. Well, and Bill Barr had this joke for a long time about, Bill Burr, sorry. Bill Burr, yeah. I don't know if Bill Barr has ever had a joke in his life, but together. Bill Burr has had this joke where he says, they always say there's never a reason to hit a woman, but, is that true? You could wake me from a drunken stupor and I could give you at least 10 or something like that. Like, that's like alluding to domestic violence, but people laughed. I think he did this joke on some, mainstream late night show. And so it's interesting how it was something people tolerated and now they're like, new young comedian, you have to fall in line or stop. You know what I mean?
It sounds like the crowd is flailing and they're like, well, my anger that's left over from 5 years ago, stop. And then Matt Rife knows if he gets fired, he's good to go. Like, look at Shane Gillis's career is off the charts right now. He's interfacing with Rogan. Matt Rife's already been on Rogan's podcast once.
Oh, we have defeated the woke beast is flailing. Yeah. Cancel culture is dying. We are succeeding across the board. Hollywood is failing. Cable network news is failing. The corporate press is struggling. Elon Musk has launched this nuclear lawsuit against Media Matters. Truth Social has just sued 20 news organizations. The amount of victories and the expansion of our efforts is just so tremendous right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you got a lot to be thankful for this Thursday.
Although,
let me tell you.
Stay concerned because it's like they have the power, and I say they kind of vaguely, but to turn off your money. So the whole system is rigged up so that Visa, these central banks can shut off your access to a bank account and no more US dollars for you. And that's like their atom bomb in the pocket. So we don't want to celebrate like we've won a war or any kind of long-standing. I mean, I think cryptocurrency is fascinating that we have other ways. Bitcoin, yeah. Particularly Bitcoin. I mean, I like a lot of just the idea of being able to.
But you guys only like currency. Bitcoin?
I'm a bit of a Bitcoin maxi. Yeah.
A lot of my friends are too, and they're like, Bitcoin's up.
I started in Bitcoin 2013, then bought in, and then we made a documentary film called Life on Bitcoin, where this married couple, you can rent it on Amazon and stuff, but it's this couple lives on Bitcoin for 90 days, their first 90 days of their marriage, only Bitcoin in 2013. And then we got into Ethereum and other Litecoin and all the other coins. And I was thinking about it like a technology where I was like, number 2 is Facebook, or Google came after Microsoft, etc. So the better technology is going to win. And then by a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago, I started thinking about it more like an economist, where I'm thinking about hard money and what it actually means. And what Bitcoin does well is money. That is the one thing it does well, and it does it better than any of the other cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is the money. It's the best at it.
Well,
and I switched back.
And we can take a look at El Salvador.
Yes.
That's right.
And it's just
It's
like
booming.
booming. It's amazing. I'm just
Bukele brought us down for Sound of Freedom and did like
He's the first Latin American country and he screened it.
Dude, he knows what's up. That dude's amazing.
Yeah.
And here's a crazy story for you guys. You're gonna love this one. There was an illegal immigrant in the United States who applied for asylum, claiming that he was facing persecution in his home country. His home country was El Salvador. The persecution, he was a gang member that was going to go to jail. So he comes to the U.S. and get this, they release him. And then later we're like, wait. What was the persecution he was? Oh, he's a gang member wanted for crimes. So, okay, we got to arrest him now. That's how crazy things are up here. That a guy was like, they're going to arrest me for my group affiliation. What's your group? I'm a gang member.
Well, the U.S. immigration was like, okay, that makes sense. You are oppressed. Like that, they didn't even either. They didn't ask or they asked and were like, that does seem hard. I wouldn't want to go to jail either. Into the U.S. with you. It's pathetic.
Look, it's going to be so great. Thanksgiving. You know, everybody who's aligned with freedom, meritocracy, anti-woke, you're going to be sitting there with a smile on your face as your woke relatives are just grumbling and angry. Biden's losing, Hollywood's crumbling, they're losing money, and you can just be like, I don't even need to argue with you. We're on the cusp of victory here.
Do you guys ever take Bitcoin for Angel Studios as currency, or is that too much of a
reserve of Bitcoin?
Yeah, and we have a reserve, and we've also done Bitcoin tipping with Tuttle Twins. There's a whole episode on Bitcoin.
One of our rounds, we took on a $10 million chunk of Bitcoin as a reserve for the company.
Yeah, just as kind of a backup.
You just bought it, just switched cash into Bitcoin.
A fund invested in Angel, and we said we'll take your investment. We'll sell stock for Bitcoin.
How long ago was that?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like 100 million or something?
No.
Not
that long ago. It's still in the same.
I mean, Bitcoin's up to what, like 36 right now?
I think it was at 37 today.
Yeah.
37.
It's just going up. I mean, now that what's his name, Javier Milei got elected in Argentina, is talking about switching them over to Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, he's first going to go to the dollar, and then his
he said
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He's going to do
dollars an interim.
He's going to do the same thing as Bukele. Those guys are
they're buds. I guess Bukele's coming down there to hang out with him, for the inauguration. Bolsonaro's going to be there. Yo, dude,
what
that
a
is
time!
So amazing. I mean, come on, how are people? How could anyone be pessimistic right now? This is just so amazing. I mean, especially with all the stuff you guys are doing. I'm just like,
Milei, I'm a fan of that guy. He's
afuera.
He's bold.
Afuera.
And I think there were a lot of Americans he won over, the day after his election
he won
because they
by
watched
not
him online.
Pretending that he was going to do something different.
Yeah, there was I think it was a 3-person election, and then he and one of the others got the runoff, and the third person, they all voted. Essentially, we're all just going to vote for Milei.
I guess they announced within 21 days they will end the Ministry of Diversity, Gender, and Inclusivity or whatever. He's like, out.
And there's some tweet that was like, there's illegal to have a gender now in Argentina. It's like, no, it's illegal to be a terrible bureaucracy that ruins people's lives. It's crazy, I know.
Yeah, it's not even illegal. It's just shutting down a department.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Like the department has to exist
biology
to believe
lives
something.
Exactly. Getting rid of a department doesn't mean you don't like the thing that the department is named.
Yeah.
So sometimes the name isn't even accurate.
I want to get rid of the
does.
Department of Education, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in education.
Right.
Look at Public
You
Square.
want everyone to be illiterate. You're admitting it here now.
You guys like Public Square put out a statement about their revenue. They're making millions. They're expanding. They launched their e-commerce officially. I think it's officially launched, right? The e-commerce on Public Square. I'm just looking at this year has been absolutely fantastic. The 2010s were crazy. Let me stress, you could not say on Twitter, men aren't women. They would ban you for that. Absolutely crazy. Look how far we've come.
And it's cool because we do get on to all kinds of people for saying, the Republicans don't do anything, or like local people just focus on national politics. They don't change anything in their own communities. And I do think you're starting to see the results of people taking initiative and, especially in the case of Public Square, seeing something that was needed and creating it. And I think you guys are similar with the work that you do.
Yeah, I don't know if they take crypto yet, Public Square. That's going to be interesting when that happens. If you took Bitcoin, like to watch a movie, I could pay you in Bitcoin. Would there be like a tax hell unleashed upon the company for taking Bitcoin as payment? Or is it past that now, where you can like take it, convert it to cash?
The U.S. treats it as capital gains tax.
Which makes it more
And they just made a new change to where accountants can handle Bitcoin on their balance sheet a lot easier, which is going to help companies.
It's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Companies that have huge cash reserves, where we're seeing inflation, like I don't know if you guys have been to the grocery store lately, but things are getting freaking expensive.
Insane.
And it's shocking. And I'm not in the lower income brackets, and I'm just can't believe how expensive it is. And so our reserves, our cash reserves as companies, are losing value the longer they sit. So the more cash you have. And so there's going to be a lot more companies coming in and saying, we're going to put a huge chunk of our reserves in Bitcoin.
Dude, I mentioned this the other day. We went to Weiss. I buy these salami packs. We usually have a bunch of them downstairs for everybody to eat. They're $12 a pack now. And it's just like
actually, that breaks my heart more than almost anything else, is seeing food prices go up. Because I know, like, we grew up in a family with 9 kids in Idaho, and it was like a tiny income, like $13,000 a year. We came from the very lowest tier, and it breaks my heart to see people who have been saving and working their whole lives just like taking huge steps back because it's theft. It's theft through inflation.
Yeah. The CEO of Strike just said that the U.S. needs to
got to
refinance their debt about 10 trillion over the next 18 to 24 months.
Wow.
And he says in terms of scale, that's 3x the scale of COVID. So if COVID generated the kind of inflation we just saw, refinancing that debt's going to generate.
Look, I'm not going to give anybody financial advice or anything, so don't take this advice, but if Argentina does a fast shift into Bitcoin like El Salvador did, Argentina is much larger, much wealthier.
It's a huge
Bitcoin is going to jump in value 2 or 3 times, I could only imagine.
You said it was the CEO of Strike?
Strike.
What's Strike?
It's a Bitcoin technology.
You get a Strike app. It's like PayPal, but you just buy Bitcoin, and you can actually set it up to buy Bitcoin every hour.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.